Good morning. Happy coffee talk. It's Wednesday. Um, Coffee this morning, I am drinking out of my California mug. So I think these are poppies, is what I've learned. I thought they were tulips. They're not. This was a gift from fitme coach Leah, and she said that they're California poppies, and so they are beautiful. They're like orange flowers. And I'm drinking Black Rifle coffee. It's extra good this morning, especially because I didn't have to make it. The pot was already made this morning. My husband made it before he left, and that made me extra happy because it's going to be a busy day today. I'm actually so Wednesdays. I've told you before I like to keep kind of free in my schedule, and today is free. But I'm going to be filming like a bunch of content today. Different videos, different reels for Instagram. I've got things that I need to write for Instagram. So it's a busy day to like create content for you. Things that I know that you've told me will be helpful. So I've been doing a little bit of asking. Actually, I've been asking over email and in the Facebook group, what kind of things like do you need that would help you? And so I have this big long list and I'm going to make this stuff for you. So I'm really excited. It's a mixture of food stuff, exercise stuff, body image stuff, sort of like relationship with your food stuff. And I am going to make these for you today, but also every day. I actually started a new thing in the Facebook group. We have this section called guides. I didn't even realize it, but in the Fit Me Free intro group. So I've started putting sort of 3 to 5 minute videos. They're not long. They're not like 10 seconds short. They're kind of in between. Teaching you something, either education about food, teaching you some kind of strategy or, something that I personally use. And so, ways like yesterday's, I did how to get more protein in your breakfast without really changing your breakfast at all. So I show you how to go from 10 grams of protein to 30 grams of protein without doing anything except for these like tiny two things that you won't even notice. So if you're not in the Fit Me Free intro group, go in there and look in the guides section. You'll see it in the crossbar on the top. You'll be able to click guides or in the featured section. You should be able to see those videos. And if they're helpful, let me know. And if you want something specific, just ask and I'll make it for you. The other thing I wanted to tell you about before we start talking about coffee talk topic is FitMe is doing a give back event. So we do this like 2 times a year. One of the things that is important to me, as a business, but also as a community is that even when we're in the we're Fit Me small. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we are a very small community and a small coaching company in terms of think of like the giant companies out there. But we have quite a few people who are like doing Fit Me basics every day, who are a part of our coaching team, who are in our community. We have a little teeny little army, and I love it. And in last year, it occurred to me that it was important for us as a community to make giving back a priority from the start. Like, I don't need to be the size of like a Walmart, or I mean, Walmart's maybe a stretch, but any of the like big companies to be like, oh, now we're going to start giving back. No, for Fit Me, it's a priority inside our little army too. And so we started doing give back programs. This is our actually second one. So we did one about 6 months ago. And this give back, it's simple. You can do a 5K any way you want. Like, you can walk it, you can run it, you can go bike, you can do whatever you want. You can split it up into 1K chunks. Like, you literally can do this any way you want. Get moving with some friends, by yourself, with a local meetup. We have a handful of meetups happening, and you can do this anywhere. And what you're going to do is you're going to register for the Give Back event. Registration's $40, but if you want to do less than that or more than that, you can. There's no like mandatory. That's just the suggested donation. So if you do the suggested donation of $40, then you get a t-shirt, and then you get to do your 5K anywhere you want. And the money that we're raising, it is all going to Operation Homefront. So Operation Homefront does support for military families, helps them, during crisis periods so that they can be successful in the communities that they've worked really hard to defend. And so obviously that's something that's, special to me as a military family. But it's also something that is really impactful. So this particular charity does excellent work. And so, yeah, come be a part of Give Back. I'll put the link in the the show notes for Coffee Talk, and so you can just click it and join. And if you are in the Facebook group, I'll put it in the comments on here. So Give Back happens this weekend. You can do it Saturday or Sunday, and you got to sign up before then. So my Coffee Talk message this morning, the other day I was driving to jujitsu with my son, and I had this like flashback from middle school because he's in middle school. So lately I've been thinking a lot about my middle school experience as he does new middle school things. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember middle school. And I had this one teacher, it was a science teacher, and he used to have us recite this sort of like poem or something at the beginning of every class. I mean, every class we had to recite this. I think it was his way of, subliminally educating us, but also like knowing that we would remember it. And I did. I mean, here I am, I'm 38 years old. I still remember this little poem that he had us say. So it was like, we'd have to stand up and we'd all say, whatever it is whatever you do that is good to you, try to make sure that it is good for you. And then I want to say he would make us say it more than one time. Whatever you do that is good to you, try to make sure that it is good for you. So it's so funny that that's like in my head the other day as I'm driving Logan to jujitsu. I think that's a good message for teenagers for sure. But it's a good message for us too, right? Oftentimes there's like these two brains that we have, this like maybe even three. I think we have three brains. But we often have the brain that is understanding what is good for us. We know that's sort of like our like, I don't know, not educated, but sort of our like thoughtful, rational brain. We know what's good for us. And then we have the brain that's sort of driven by emotions or impulse or need, right? Like that sort of primal brain. Hungry, eat, treat, want it, rest, gonna do it. Like we have that sort of like primal brain, and it can be driven by fear, anxiety, stress, happiness, sort of that like emotional driving brain. I don't know what the third brain is without getting too philosophical, but in my thought, it's like the one that's sort of subconscious, the parts of us that it's like, if you want to call it a soul, or if you want to call it a self or a you, like whatever you want to call it, there's that other part of you, right? So then you have the two brains that kind of fight each other, doing the best to kind of like be in alignment with the you that is real, right? You're like, Christy, you promised me Coffee Talk would make sense today. I am. Hear me out, okay? So I know yesterday I was like talking about balance, and I was like, I promise tomorrow will make sense. And then here I am today, deep in philosophy. But this is legitimately applicable to your day-to-day life, because oftentimes we have like the impulse brain that we're like, oh no, I'm hungry, I'm not supposed to be hungry right now, and we squash it. And then other times we have this sort of like rational brain, and we hear it, but we're like, you don't understand. Like, I know you want me to eat vegetables, I know I'm supposed to go exercise, but you don't understand. I'm stressed out and I'm tired, and so I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that because that's not going to make me feel better, and I need to feel better. That's a priority. So you kind of have this like battle going along, but then you have like the self that's you that doesn't feel nurtured or heard or even paid attention to. It's like busy, busy, busy. We're not lined up with ourselves. I want to say that when we find these moments of seeing clearly that negotiation happening in our head, and then choosing to do something that's not just because we know it's good for us, even though that is a good motivation, but sort of acknowledging the feelings, right? We cannot squash that part of our brain. And that's where I think like most people go with this conversation is like, well, squash the part of you that is based off of sort of those primal impulses. Like, you're not tired, you're not hungry, you're not sad, you're not happy. Just ignore that and do what's good for you. That does not work. Okay, does not work. You have to pay attention to that part and say, like, what do you need? Why do you need this? Like, what's the context here? And then, okay, but we know what's good for us. We know we said we would do an hour workout today. What can we do that meets the needs for both? Like, how can we, knowing that we've promised to do this for ourselves, when we say I'm taking care of myself, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the whole that is you, the emotional you, the physical you that like benefits from like all that rational thought. Like, yep, rationally, I should walk 10,000 steps every single day. I know that. It's easy to know it's not easy. So the entire self that's you is both this rational brain, this impulse brain, and the core of you, the part that feels fulfilled, the part that feels alive, that whole piece of you. So when we make decisions, healthy lifestyle decisions, we have to take into account the entire picture, the whole you. It's like, nope, maybe you're not going to get that hour workout in today, even though you know that's what you were supposed to do. You're very, very stressed and you're very, very tired. So we're going to acknowledge that. We're not going to squash it. And instead, we're going to say, let's go for a 25-minute walk. It's not quite the same as that hour workout. It's not nothing. It's something. And on that 25-minute walk, you'll feel better. No doubt about it. Stress levels will come down and you'll have kept that promise to yourself. So if you're still listening and you've made it through philosophy, at 8:30 in the morning, it's 8:30 for me, over coffee. I think my takeaway for you, the actionable step is, it's not just enough to be like, I know I should do it. It's also not advisable to just follow the impulse brain. It's not going to turn out great. We need the full picture, and we need that full picture to reflect taking care of yourself. So that's my coffee talk message for you this morning. Dogs are my cue that coffee talk is over. Thanks as always for plugging in. It means so much to me to spend this time with you and that you listen and that you download these episodes. Like when I see the downloads, it just kind of blows me away because I'm just grateful. So thank you so much. If you like this episode, let me know and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.